the color white. You know there's a million different colors of white, and there's a million different colors of red. So I want them to connect. You know, my favorite color, I'll tell you my favorite color. It's lying on the grass underneath a tree in the summer, looking at the totally blue sky, and you see the outline of the green leaf, and the color that I like, it just makes my heart sing, is the contrast between the blue and the green. That's feeling. That touches you and makes my heart sing. So I was thinking about this as I was coming here, and I was reminded, you know how your synapses go like this and it connects you from one thing to the other? I was reminded of a book that I read by a guy named Howard Behar. Who knows Howard Behar? Anyone? Howard Behar was the #2 guy at Starbucks back when they were growing from little Starbucks to Starbucks. And Starbucks has a great corporate culture. It's based in Seattle. That's where I'm from, is Seattle. And I have some friends that work at Starbucks, and they say it's just a splendid place to work. And the thing I have to compare it to is people who went from working at Microsoft to people who now work at Starbucks. And they just say it's delightful. And so Howard's writing in his book about how they want to treat their customers and how they want to treat their employees and the way they want their team and their culture to be and everything like that. And I'm one of those people who, like, I hear a sentence or a phrase and it just, it's profound sometimes and it just sinks in with me. And so what he wrote, I think it was a whole chapter, and this was the title. He said, we want to have this great culture and so forth. You have to care like you mean it. You can't care because it's a business strategy or because, that's what you're supposed to do. That totally, it's transparent when it's like that. You have to care because you care. You have to want your customers to have an awesome cup of coffee because you just want them to be happy with a cup of coffee. You want your employees to succeed because you want them to succeed and you want them to be happy. What we do in our business at Cheeseburger, our motto for our company, is to make everybody happy for 5 minutes a day, right? That's what we want to do. And when we stop doing that, well, then the business starts to do poorly. But we have to do that, and we have to want that just for itself. And it makes us happy working there. So Howard talks about caring because you mean it. All those things that you do with your team or with your clients or with your customers, whomever, if your heart isn't in it, then they're just transactions. They're not relationships. So care like you mean it was really, really powerful to me. And then that reminded me of a conversation I had with Seth Godin. Everyone knows Seth Godin? Mm-hmm. The conversation I had with Seth Godin was before he was Seth Godin. This was like about 15 years ago. Seth had a little startup and I worked at it. And he was telling me about launching a startup and how he thought the way it was going to work was you'd take this big risk and you'd launch it, and then you'd get your company going and it would settle down and smooth out. But actually that wasn't how it went. Once you stuck your neck out there, then you figured out you had to stick your neck out there again. The people here who have startups or they're sort of sole proprietor type people in the room, you just stick your neck out again. You know this feeling. The imagery he used with me was a tree. He said, I feel like it's climbing a tree, and I climbed it, and I thought I'd get up there and it'd be cool. But then it turns out the way it was, I just had to keep on climbing, and it got scarier and scarier. And I learned to trust myself because I got more comfortable in the tree. But you just kept on having to climb the tree higher and higher. And that reminded me, my wife is an acupuncturist. Has anybody here ever received acupuncture? A lot of people, great. So she's an acupuncturist. She practices a kind of acupuncture called 5-element acupuncture. It's the kind of acupuncture there was before Western world came and screwed up acupuncture. Well, screwed up is really strong. Before Western influenced acupuncture. There's 5 elements. There's earth, where is there? Hang on a second. Earth, water, metal, fire, and wood, like the tree that Seth was talking about. In the 5 elements, wood is vision. One of the aspects, the components of wood is vision. And the visual that this philosophy puts with it is bamboo. And so if you have vision, you stand really tall like bamboo. And bamboo is a really, really hardy plant. It can adapt, it lives everywhere, it spreads, it grows, it's very strong and hardy. But the other thing that's really interesting about bamboo is that unlike a lot of trees, it's really flexible. It can sway in the wind back and forth. And so if you have a vision, you have to be willing to have a strength and be adaptable, but you have to be flexible too, because the people you're working with, whether they're in your company or outside your company, they might have a different way of getting you there than you had in mind. But the bamboo, it can flex and adjust like that. So a little bit of change of subject here. So This American Life. Who listens to This American Life? A lot of people listen to This American Life. Maybe a lot of you, there's a lot of people who listen to it. So a lot of you might remember about a month or two ago, there was this episode about a GM car plant in California. See people nodding their head. So for those of you who don't know about this, I'll tell you this GM car plant. It was a GM car plant. It actually got shut down.